Welcome to Tacos, Tequila, Therapy, and the Tea, of course, with your girl P. I'ma tell y'all, this is a podcast about everything from beauty to life to love to motivation. If you are looking for a little uplifting spirit or you need to know something about that beauty industry, you confused about what to do with your hair, you have come to the right place. Let's get to it. Join me on the Tea with P.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. We are back again in this wonderful season of spring and coming up on our Mother's Day. Depending on when you hear this, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I wanted to talk about that today. I think I have told you guys before, but I lost my mom when I was 14. Amazing, amazing woman she was and still is to me. She taught me so many things that at that time I was like, I hear you, I get it, but there are things that she said to me then that I now can apply in so many different ways. And today I'm sipping on a little tea in one of my favorite cups that a friend of mine had given me when she knew I wanted to start the Tea with P. Love her, love her, love her. Serena gave me this and it's like blue and turquoise and green. And my favorite color is blue, but it looks rather fancy even when I'm not. But I wanted to talk about grief. Now, please don't get it twisted. This is not about no sad podcast today, because what I know is that even though I lost my mom young, I'm going to tell you I had my time of sadness, but I'm in a season of appreciation for the woman that she was and still is to me and how her life lessons are prevailing in my life. But I wanted to talk about grief of ships. Situationships, relationships, friendships, workships, grief. And it comes in so many different forms, right? I'm finding now that in my life, I'm seeing friendships that have been years. You think they will be around forever. And not just in a passing, but the friendship changes. They outgrow each other. Something happens. Relationships always like come and go, right? But when you think about just having the loss of someone who has been in your life for so long, or being at a job for so long and you lose that job, you had a sense of comfort. And when you lose it, there is a little bit of a grieving process. When I was doing and thinking about what it was for this podcast, I thought about what does Webster say in terms of definition of a relationship. And it was the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. And we're connected in so many ways. And as of late, I'm realizing that as I grow, I'm losing a lot of ships, right? Relationships are changing. Relationships of actual connections of love are changing. I've had adjustments in my friendships. And I know that sometimes that comes with age, it comes with time, but it also comes with growth. And when I thought about grief and its definition of deep sorrow, especially that caused by someone's death. And it was like, But sometimes people don't always die. The relationship died. The ship died. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Am I in another grieving season? I miss my mom. I love her dearly. But I'm just saying, like, can you imagine just like as you grow and you realize so many of your relationships, like how many of y'all really probably have gone through relationships or have been married and divorced? Shoot, I was engaged and that didn't even work out well. I don't know if I had much of a grieving process with that, now that I think about it, but to each his own. I've realized that it's hard either way you look at it. But could you imagine losing a ship? Either it's a situationship or relationship, husband or wife that was actually just really good. And it had to end just because of maybe being on different planes. We're in different bodies of water and we're going in different directions. And the ships had to sail. And while we think all of our ships end in grief, sadness, sorrow, anguish, they don't always look so bad. Some ships are easy as hell to get out of. Let's not even lie. Some people get on your goddamn nerves, abusive, whatever. It's time to go. Please sail that ship. But sometimes the grief that we experience in those bad situations is like, who the hell was I in that? Like, what in the world? Why was I going through that? How long did I stay? But when you lose someone you care for, it's hard. Could you imagine having a friend of 20 plus years? You talked often, that you hung out, you've been there for each other, and that friendship fizzles out. That could be kind of like, it's different when someone that's been in your life for that long or had that impact, right? And certain people come into your life and they have an impact, and it could be a 2-year stint of amazingness, showing you possibilities and growth, but it has to end because they came into your life for a reason, a season, and everybody is not meant for the lifetime. But it's how we are at the time when those ships have sailed. What do we need to get from it? So I have been looking at those connections in my life that have ended, changed, transitioned, and what was I supposed to get from it? Experiencing major loss in your life, I'm sure, is like, it's very hard, right? And when you come across someone who you may feel is not as significant in your life, like losing a mom, you may not think that it's that much of a big deal, but sometimes, it is. But one of the lessons of my amazing mom that I'm applying to this is my mother used to always she had a short period of time with me. And she would when my mom was sick, I'm going to tell you, those life lessons was coming every day. She would you got to know this, you got to know that, you got to know that. And at that point, it was overwhelming, right? But now in this season of being an adult and applying all of these things, my mom, she was a person with good sense of direction to me. So I lost my mom before I could even drive. And if we took a road trip somewhere, my mother was always pay attention to the direction that you're going. If you are going north to a destination, to get home, you can go south. Go south. You'll get there. If you go east, make sure you go back west. Doesn't matter, you'll get back home. And she always say, when you see the sign that say Washington, D.C., you can get anywhere, anywhere. Because you now know where you are. And so I was like, right? When we go in one direction and we have lost ourselves, sometimes we got to go the opposite way to get back to who we are. Another lesson that my mother taught me with direction, this applies even if y'all are still using Waze and Google. She said that if you think you have gone far enough, go a little further. Because how many times have you guys turned too soon? We just did it on a girls' weekend, and I'm going to tell you, we turned too soon, and I ended up in a space where it said private property, trigger-happy rednecks ahead, because we probably should have went a little further. And in the directions, all the girls this is a girls' trip, we're riding together, and they were so concerned because it's hey, it's 6 chocolate chicks in this truck. Are we in the right area? Should we be here? I don't know. Where's this cabin? It was complete wait a minute, hold up. And when we had to go back to the directions were to go to the water. You had to go down to the water and you had to turn right on the street. And I said, look, I do not think that we have gone far enough. I'm going back down, and I was driving. I'm going back down, and we're going to go a little further. We're not going to make that shop right with trigger happy rednecks with 6 chocolate chicks in a truck. But we're going to go a little further. And when we went further and we made that right turn on the right street, the place that we landed was absolutely beautiful. It was beautiful. It was comfortable. It was cozy. And in that moment, my mom's directions applied. But I'm sharing with you that that same direction applies in life when it comes to your grief. When you think you have not gone far enough, go a little further. Meet a new friend. Have a new relationship. Marry again if that is for you. Keep going. Don't stop. Sometimes we get off a little too soon, but keep going. I was dating someone who really, at this one time, and y'all know I'm random as hell, so y'all know y'all on the randomest podcast ever, but I was in this relationship where when it ended, and it seemed to be this on again, off again thing, right? And we would end for like months or sometimes weeks, whatever. But when it was for a period of time, like months, I went through a grieving stage of like, what am I doing? What are we going to do? Leaving that space open. But as soon as I was ready to keep going, they would be back again. And we had a connection that was like, oh, child of it, rev up your spirits, right? But they would always feel like, well, you've been out dating. And I was like, hell yeah. Why the hell would you think I'm not? Like your exit doesn't mean that I should stop. If you exit my life, that doesn't mean that that is the end for me. That means I must keep going. You weren't my final destination. I might have took a sharp right turn to the trigger happy redneck territory. But right now it says, my direction says, go a little further. I had my time of grieving, but it was time to keep going. And today, I just want to share that with you because my mom is absolutely amazing in what she has given me. And I miss her and I love her. But even when you are in your grieving stages, some days are good, some days are bad, but you got to keep going in the right direction. And I just want you to know that you will land in the most beautiful, comfortable space that is just for you. Sometimes the death of those ships is what you need to go forward. The job ended and you start a new one or start your own business, which is a story of mine. I was comfortable in a space and they became uncomfortable in my work environments. It happened to me twice and I ended up landing in a space that was better than the last. But today, I want y'all to keep going. Go a little further. Those ships gonna sail and so will you. I appreciate you and I am grateful. And I know that you could be anywhere else. And you got options and you chose me today. Thank you. And until next time on the randomest podcast ever, enjoy your day on purpose.
Thanks for spending your time with me. I know that you got options and you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to listen to your girl today. Don't forget to follow on all of your listening platforms. Share the episode. Tell a friend. Come on back. You can follow me on Instagram under Patrice Starr or the salon, which is the Design Studio _MD. I do have a website, and that is the Design Studio MD, and that MD is like MarylandODoctor.com. And we are on all of your listening platforms. We'll see you on the next Tuesday for some tacos, tequila, therapy, and the tea. Till next time.